At international tribunals, Mark Zanker has often successfully represented Australia in important cases. John Davis shows him the evidence, explains how the pirates are giving AFMA the runaround.
You can actually see the fuel line running between the boats there.
I can see that.
So really, I think it's come to the point where Australia needs to take some very affirmative action on this.
It is a course of action that potentially threatens human food security if it is going to be replicated on a wide scale. And it is for that reason that it is most important that this activity be taken seriously and that all efforts should be made to stamp it out.
Zanker goes into the legal details. The most important being that the Australian authorities can intervene only within Australia's 200 nautical mile zone. It's there they need to catch the pirates red-handed.
Regardless of any international convention, any controls, there are still going to be people who, unfortunately, will disregard these controls, will carry out illegal activities, will disregard plans of management for fisheries, will disregard total allowable catches that have been set by the international community in pursuit of profit.
Around the same time, on the west coast of Spain, this is where the crime bosses recruit the fishing professionals who can guarantee them fat pickings. The following scene is reenacted, but this is what must have transpired. Manuel Perez Lijo, one of the fishing masters, has received a fax from Jakarta.
Hola, señores, ¿qué tal? ¿Todo bien?
Asking him to sign on.
Tenemos un trabajo. Con unas cartitas, ¿qué?
One of his fellow masters is already in the Southern Ocean, on board the Lina. Lijo is to join her sister ship, the Volga. He will then be the most important man on board, more important even than the captain, who, because the ship's sailing under the Russian flag, is a Russian. Fishermen like these, who catch the toothfish, Merluza negra, know full well that neither they nor the Russians will be respecting international law. A few weeks later, Lijo is on the Volga in Australian waters. Below deck, the bait is prepared for the long lines. It's tough work, done by Indonesians. The Volga casts out its lines, kilometers in length, as always. Mark Zanker is determined to stop this illegal fishing. He's on his way to Parliament. He's meeting the minister responsible for fisheries, Ian MacDonald. Mark Zanker is not just a legal counsellor, he knows his way about in the political scene and has contacts in Parliament and the government. Normally, Zanker is the bearer of good news, the latest case he's won for Australia. This time, he's come with a problem.
Minister, how are you?
Ah, you got good news for me? Yeah. Come in and...
Okay, thanks, Minister.
And he still doesn't know how well the pirates are organised. A skyscraper in the business district of the Indonesian capital is central to the pirates' network. It houses the offices of Sun Hope, a Chinese company which charters ships under flags of convenience, from countries that are no respecters of international agreements. Every flag represents a pirate ship. The Volga and the Lena are just two of them. A quick call to one of their contacts in the Australian ports, and Sunhope knows where the fisheries inspectors are. It's the 28th of January 2002. Australia's only patrol boat lies 4,000 kilometres away from the fishing grounds, the Southern Supporter. Unarmed, in Fremantle, in dock. 4,000 kilometres. That means 2 weeks for the pirates to do their worst. The whole pirate fleet is informed. This fax is later part of the court records. Sunhope sent it out to its ships. It includes the sentence, "It seems to be safe until the 7th or the 8th of February." Signed, Sunhope. It's a large-scale operation for the Volga. The fishing grounds around Heard Island are rich, but it still takes fishing masters like Perez Lijo to know how best to catch the most toothed fish. No one cares whether too many young fish are caught. There's no inspector on board. This footage is not reenacted. It was taken by scientists on a boat fishing with long lines. Documentary evidence that shows what happens on ships like the Volga. Long lines pose a great threat to albatrosses. Thousands of them perish diving for the bait.
The illegal boats were killing seabirds, they were killing sea lions, seals. They were fishing in waters that we had worked with governments to set aside from no fishing. And worst of all, they were fishing in World Heritage areas that had been set aside by the IUCN and by national government for the protection of all time.
Shift work below decks on the Volga. The valuable catch has to be prepared for cold storage. The market value of the Patagonian toothfish is more than $20 a kilo. The freezer chambers of this death factory contain nearly $2 million worth of fish. The pirates on the Volga feel safe. A VIP arrival at the Australian Customs headquarters. The Fisheries Minister is on his way to the National Surveillance Room, Australia's monitoring centre. This is where all the information from the outposts of Australia's borders is collected. The following footage was shot where the scenes actually took place, with the officers and the minister himself. With the full staff, Customs, Navy and members of the AFMA Fisheries Authority.
Good to see you again. You too. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Right, again.
They report on a new sighting of the Lena.
Minister, we do believe we've got a vessel back in the Australian fishing zone, and that vessel is likely to be the Lena. We also have information that indicates there might be other vessels there, possibly one of its sister ships, the Volga. On that basis, we would ask the government, through yourself, that a defence response be mounted.
The law is on our side.
Yes, it is.
Well
Yes.
within our... Whereabouts are
Ian MacDonald wants assurance that nothing could happen to put Australia in an awkward international situation. After all, the ships are sailing under the Russian flag.
the zone when we picked them up the first
Mark
time.
Zanker